We are going to do a fun little game. If you could only use 3 Shopify apps, what would they be? And so just a thought experiment, kind of force us to say to ourselves, what are the most valuable apps that we could possibly think of?
A lot of times you can add as a separate app and but like sometimes, especially if you're starting out, you need easy. And Loox is pretty much 5 minutes set up. It's good to go. You turn it on and you start, generating ideally. Basically just the front end sales channel.
He developed a strategy because in his own business he wasn't profitable with the strategy.
It's clearly working wonders for our clients, and it's crazy to me how many agencies don't know about this at all.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the E-commerce Leader. I'm here with my co-host Kyle Hamer. Hey buddy, how are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, well, it's an honor to be able to chat with you today. We've got a fun topic. We are going to do a fun little game. The game is, if you could only use 3 Shopify apps, what would they be? And so just a thought experiment, kind of force us to say to ourselves, what are the most valuable apps that we could possibly think of if we were going to be limited to just 3 to build out a Shopify store? And this is a really hard exercise because the first thing you do is you start to say to yourself, well, it depends on the style of store, the strategy, the size of the inventory or catalog, and so many different factors. But nonetheless, let's just put all of that aside and say, just in general, for any old Shopify site, what would be your top 3 apps that you would use if you could only use 3? So you're gonna go first, and then I'll list my top app after you, and then you do your second, I'll do my second, and we'll go from there. We'll do the last one. So you ready?
I'm ready. So boiling this down to 3. I mean, there's only over 8,000, so it's not like you don't have any to choose from.
That's a lot.
There's a lot, yeah, and a lot of them do the same thing. So my first one is going to be, drumroll, the Loox review app. So that's the first one on my list, and here's why.
Whoa. Wow.
Here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. You need social proof. You need reviews. Yeah. That's like going to be one of the core drivers of conversion on your Shopify site. But the other reason that I like Loox, and it kind of sets it apart a little bit, is its ability to, if you structure it correctly, generate user-generated content. It also has the ability to syndicate out reviews, so you can actually use Loox to push reviews out to your Google listings and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. The other reason I like Loox is it has a really easy to use referral program, which a lot of times you can add as a separate app and but like sometimes, especially if you're starting out, you need easy. And Loox is pretty much 5 minutes set up. It's good to go. You turn it on and you start, generating ideally referrals through it. And then the other reason I like Loox is its ability to display the reviews in a lot of different ways, really, really uniquely. The favorite being homepage carousel. Because it's UGC, it's on your homepage, it's great content, has the reviews, it lists the reviews in total. That is the reason why I would pick Loox as the first app to install on my Shopify store for all of those really cool reasons.
I really, really like that pick a lot. I think you're right about everything you just said. Loox has become basically a standard app that we install in all our client sites because it does have a beautiful user experience on the homepage, in particular the carousel widget. And so, I totally agree. It's also a little bit of a Swiss Army knife app these days where they're adding more things, as you mentioned, the referral component. So I totally support that. I can see that 100%. But I did not have that on my list, so we have some differences here.
All right.
My first app, if we could only pick 3, the top of the list for me, you won't be surprised, is Lifetimely.
I know.
Yeah. So the Lifetimely app is, if you're not experienced with it, an absolute goldmine of data insights into what's happening on your Shopify site. In particular, what it tells you, which I think is the most important thing you can possibly understand about your site traffic, is what it takes to acquire a customer, the cost to acquire a customer, your CAC number. You may have heard of the phrase before, and Lifetimely tells you that information cleanly, simply, very, very nicely. And then the other piece of it that is so incredibly important is long-term customer value by cohorts. So, and we've done whole episodes on Lifetimely. I think, a couple months ago, we did a whole episode. So go back and listen to that conversation if you want to do a deep dive on Lifetimely, if you're just thinking about it. But it is a super, super powerful app. I picked that one because the thing that I believe is true is when you start working in Shopify, you frequently get very confused about what's working. Is your blogging working? Is your Facebook ads working? Is your Instagram organic links working? Like, what is working? And Lifetimely gives you that back-end analytics insight, so you really can start to understand what's working. So for all those reasons, it's the top of my list. It's lifetimely.io if you want to check out their website. We should have also mentioned for yours, it's Loox, if you're not familiar, is Loox.
Yep.
Probably .io. I don't know what their website is, but you can check that out. And obviously find it in the App Store. But yeah, so lifetimely.io. So that's my first pick. What do you think of that?
I love it. I debated putting Lifetimely at the top of my list for the very reasons that you mentioned. It is, to be completely honest, it is the app that I go to literally every day when I'm working in client accounts. Hands down, it gives you such an easy breakdown. The other thing that I love about Lifetimely, which is kind of a cool little drop down when you're looking at lifetime value, you can actually look at accumulated gross profit by those cohorts, which I like that metric as well, because it's not just the value of gross revenue, it's actually factoring in some of those other things that get you to gross profit, which is also a super nice metric to kind of be tracking through and looking at. So I love it. It's a great tool.
If you're a math nerd and you really nerd out over the back end info of, the analytics stuff in Shopify, it's the app for you. So, okay. All right. Super cool. So those are the top apps. So we like it, Loox and Lifetimely. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Number two.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a average order value boosting app. And so for me, I'm going with ReConvert. So the ReConvert app allows you to build out these really cool, like, different funnels that have different offers, post-purchase. Now they've rolled out pre-purchase upsells as well. It's something they had on their roadmap. They have customized thank you pages. So if you have people that have over a certain amount of orders, you can ask for, like, if you want to capture birth dates, right, and push that into Klaviyo and do like birthday specials unique to them. It's just a very good tool set that's relatively simple to use. Like, the other reason I like it, it's relatively cheap in comparison to some of the other apps that are out there. But two, is literally like a push button one that you can literally immediately install. You don't have to do any real configuration. You can just say, I'm just going to run this and see what happens with it, and you're going to see revenue go up because more people are going to be buying more things, and then you can kind of get more sophisticated with it over time if you really wanted to, and kind of nerd out and really build it out. But I think if you have to have some app that's driving additional average order value to maximize, particularly if you're spending any money on advertising, and you have to have Lifetime, if you're profitable, but to try and boost that to get you the value, I think a ReConvert's a good app for that.
Okay. Super cool. I love that. I think you and I were headed in the exact same direction. We just chose different apps, but the core thesis is you have to get an incremental upsell or cross sell or an AOV boosting exercise. And so for that, I chose bold product upsell. Same ideas, and basically it's easy to set up, and you can basically set it up so that, let's say you have a popular product, you've got your lead product that people are coming to your website for, and the number one question you should ask yourself is, what else would they buy as they go through that transaction? And that's the product you want to upsell using bold product upsells. Now, interestingly, I just checked out their website. They kind of updated their spiel, I guess you could say. We've used this app for a long time, so I just looked. Now they're marketing it as the bold upsell AI powered upsells.
Ooh, of
And
course.
they have this phrase. Yes, of course, it's AI. They have this interesting little graphic, which is the right offers at the right time in the right place, powered by AI. Basically, figuring all that stuff out. So that's really interesting.
AI probably wrote that little spiel too. So
I'm sure it did. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yes.
So what's your thought on bold product upsell?
I think it's cool. Yeah. I mean, I think you have to have an average order value. But what's interesting too is, like you said, you want to know what product are other customers buying. That's why you install Lifetimely, because Lifetime will actually show you the product journey. So it'll show you the first order and then what people bought in the second order, and you can actually literally see it as a flow chart, which is kind of cool. And then you can structure your upsells accordingly.
Yep.
But it's a good tool. Yeah, no, we were totally aligned. You know, I think you have to have some level of average order value boosting app associated with your upsells. Amazon does it. They're masters at it. If you're not doing it on your Shopify store and you're not really spending a lot of time geeking out on it, you're losing money.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, so this is fun. All right, so we've done 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
We had 4 interesting apps we've talked about. So let's go for round 3. Kick it off. Right. What do you got for your third choice?
For my third choice, I was looking for an app that would incentivize repeat customers. So I'm going a rewards program. S Loyalty, their loyalty and rewards is the one that I'm most familiar with. We have installed it, used it with clients. We set it up. It incentivizes repeat customers. It rewards them, right? They earn points in their rewards, and then they can redeem those points for discounts and a bunch of anything else you want to set it up for. I think you have to have some sort of mechanism on your store to incentivize a repeat purchase.
Totally love it. I totally agree. And S Loyalty has been an app we've used for so long. It's a fantastic app, and it is certainly could be in the top 3. I didn't choose that one, but I totally agree with you that it is, having a redeeming coupon strategy so that you have people who come back again and again and again. And there's just so much you can do with that. A lot of people set up loyalty programs and really undermarket them and undermanage them. And there's a huge body of work there that can be done to really take your loyalty program and put it on steroids and really get maximum impact out of it. So S Loyalty is a great app for that. But I didn't choose that one. So for my third choice, I did go in the same direction. So you and I are like great minds think alike on this stuff. We've worked together for too long or something like that.
We've worked and we've seen what works.
Exactly. My mind went the same exact place, which is how do you get repeat transaction and lock people into recurring transactions? And how do you do that best? In my view, you have a membership program. And so
I love it.
Conjured, I think, is the clear winner. For sure. We used to and still do use some contexts, use a bold membership program app, but Conjured's, I think, better. And so Conjured is cool. And if you haven't checked that out, I'll just make the case for it right now. Any business that is making one-off transactions does itself tremendous good by locking customers into a recurring billing situation. And 100%. A membership product or program does that. You can rig up a membership program in any one of 10 or different ways. Amazon, of course, Prime is the classic example. And, I think everybody's probably heard the story, but I don't know if it's still true or not, but, years ago, it was revealed that Amazon really lost money or was just breaking everywhere else except its Prime membership dollars that basically floated the whole business. I don't know if that's still true or not, but you get the idea. If you have, let's just say, $1,000 people giving you $10 a month because they get some perceived value, rewards, in exclusive benefits, being included in a club or some special deal or rewards or whatever it might be, that money stacks and it's free cash flow. if you don't have a lot of cost of goods or services that you have to deliver in support of it, it is free cash flow. So if you can design it wisely, it can be incredibly beneficial to your business. So recurring membership program dollars. So what are your thoughts on that?
I love it. No, it was definitely like right there. Like I almost put Conjured on this list for exactly what you said. I think anybody can develop a recurring membership program no matter what they're selling. And getting into that is definitely what I would lean into. I almost also went with sort of like a subscribe and save model. And you could also stick that into that space as well. Like you were getting repeat customers. Same idea, right? Like how do you now the thing I like about membership a little bit more is you're getting paid to provide whatever membership benefits you're getting on top of whatever you're selling, in addition to. So there is a little bit of a net benefit, I think, that like a Prime. But subscribe and save also does a lot of repeat revenue on Amazon. It's like you kind of look to Amazon as like, well, what are they doing efficiently to drive sales and satisfy customers? Okay,
bonus time. I asked Cinnamon, who's obviously my co-founder at Pixie Fair and really runs Pixie Fair and is just this massive, has a massive wealth of information. Shopify. She is for the last 10 years has been. I don't know. We're probably over 5 million transactions on Pixie Fair, and it just continues to go and go and go. I asked her this question, what she had to only pick 3, and she mentioned 2. She didn't mention her third one, but she mentioned 2 that she thought was interesting, but they're use case specific. But I'll mention them. And one was, she said, obviously we couldn't live without a digital delivery download app. So Shopify has its native digitally delivered download app. It's free to use. Sendowl is the other one that we've had a long relationship with. But if you do digital products, then that digital delivery methodology app is critical. And then the other one she mentioned is in line with what you and I were just talking about, which is how do you get repeat purchases, and that was the Back in Stock app. Is that the technical name? Is that right? It's called Back in Stock, or
Back in Stock. Back in Stock is the actual one.
And because her comment was, once you set that thing up in your store, and if you have recurring products that go in and out of stock, it creates a nice little user list. They sign up if they want to be informed when you're going to be back in stock, and then when you reload your inventory, you don't have to do any marketing. You don't have to contact them, anything like that. The app just goes out, makes the contact information, and it just prints you money. It's free sales that come in. So the Back in Stock app is super cool in her view. I like both of her choices, of course, a ton. So there you have it, man. That's 6 unique apps plus 2 bonus apps from Cinnamon. So 8 unique apps. That if we had to only use a few, these are the ones that we would really figure out. And the funny part about it is any app that you use, most people use maybe 60 or 80% of the functionality. And the truth of it is, it might be better if we just were forced to choose a couple apps, because we probably totally go deep with them and get them 100% locked in, and it would probably do our Shopify store so much good to really nerd out and know every single thing about the apps that you're using, because it can be so powerful,
I love that. And here's sort of a hot tip too: when you're evaluating an app, see how well their customer support responds to you. Can you book a call with them to get go in depth? Like the best apps will actually offer calls to their customers where they can really explain the software in detail, help you get stuff going, and that's kind of the partner you want to have long term, because these apps do provide really essential services and essential features to your store, and you want to be able to trust them as a partner and have those conversations with them. Make sure you have good support.
And it can be a challenge. I almost didn't include bold app makers on the list, because when we started with them, they were small and they had great customer service, and then they got big, and that's the downside. But we're so old school. Cinnamon remembers contacting customer service at Shopify 10 years ago, and she would always get the same girl helping her. And I was like that. Like that's how long we've been doing this. Is that the Shopify customer service people, used to be the same people you could talk to.
I thought it was going to be Toby
Lutke.
I thought it was going to be Lutke that she talked to.
No, but it is a challenge. But looking at the reviews is obviously highly important, and just seeing about their responsiveness. But the cool part about most app makers is they really go out of their way to get you locked in and happy. Right. So a lot of them will do custom setup if that's needed. Mm-hmm. They'll troubleshoot. They'll figure out if it's not working for your theme, which sometimes happens, and they'll really help you get off to a start on using the app. And that's really the most important window of time is that first couple weeks of usage. So yeah, all of these we know, like, and trust. And so we would highly recommend them to you, all 8 that we've mentioned today.
They're all good. I had a recent experience with an app, and it started off poorly because I was like, hey, I'm looking for support. I haven't got any onboarding thing. And I emailed their support team, and the CEO emailed me back within 24 hours and said, I'm going to be your guy. Like, I'm going to be the guy who's going to work with you from here on out. And here you go. Like, we're moving stuff forward. And it was kind of cool to see. Like, I mean, they were really on it after they kind of got my heated email.
It is cool because you realize these guys are usually smaller businesses trying to really, grind it out. And they're really, really passionate about getting you locked in as a recurring customer. And they're willing to work hard for that. And so they're in it with you, and they want you to succeed. They don't win unless your Shopify store does better with them than it had without them. And so they know that. And so it's all about your success. All right, man. Well, this is a great conversation. I think it's, plenty deep dive into this, and we would encourage you to check out the apps that we've mentioned. Of course, check out our prior episodes as well. In particular related to Lifetimely, but maybe we should do an episode about each one of these apps. Cool. Go deep into each one, but
for sure.
All right. Well, if you want to connect with us, feel free to hit us up at omnirocket.com. There's a contact form. If you want to know more about any one of these apps, we would be happy to chat with you. There's a 30-minute free call that we're happy to do. So just hit our contact form and apply to connect with us. And we are happy to go deep and talk about these topics and more. We offer a reasonably significant list of done-for-you services. If you're struggling with your Shopify store and you need some professional help, we would love to talk to you about that and be your guys on the tech side, helping you run your Shopify business. So any final words, Kyle?
Yeah, I think we'll have some of these links to the different apps in the notes, to the show notes here. Yeah. So you can hit those up as you go and test them out. A lot of them offer free trials too. So you can go try it out, talk to the folks, see if you can get the value out of it, and then go for it and test it. But the biggest thing is take action. Make sure you have the right apps for the right action that you're trying to accomplish. You don't want to go too big and just have massive amounts of apps on your store. Get narrow, get focused, and that's going to give you the best ROI.
Totally right. All right, buddy. Good times. I'm going to wrap it there, and we will see y'all in the next episode. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, all.